Hello everyone and welcome to a different kind of video. Apologize for the dog making noise. I'm watching my grandma's dog while she is out of the house with my mom. Right now I'm going to tell you guys how to beat Darth Vader, and this is mostly for Hero Showdown, but it can also apply to Heroes vs Villains and other things if you're playing a hero. What I want to add is I'm like crazy tryhard at this game, and I main Darth Vader on the dark side, and I can say I cannot even remember the last time that I lost as Darth Vader. Like, when I play a match, if I'm on dark side, it is guaranteed I'm going to win at least one round, because for at least one round I'm going to play Darth Vader. So I just haven't lost as him. It's been at least like a month and a half since I lost, because I can't remember the last time I lost. So start with that. I'm looking at a list of the light side heroes. I'm actually looking at a tier list, which I definitely don't agree with, because they have Vader as S tier and they also have Anakin as S tier. I'm sorry, but like, Darth Vader is broken in two different ways. One, he is broken in the fact that he is just so much better than everyone. And two, there are simple things about his character and the way he works that are just straight up broken. Like, for example, he can throw his lightsaber and so can Darth Maul. The difference is, Darth Maul, when he throws his lightsaber, he is vulnerable to other Force abilities and attacks. Darth Vader, on the other hand, he can throw his lightsaber. You could have the attachment where his lightsaber goes crazy far. While he's standing there without his lightsaber, you can't force pull him, force push him. You can't do anything to him, actually. It's very stupid. And I find myself in these situations all the time where I go to use moves on Vader when he's vulnerable. It just doesn't work. But like, that's just a good way to kind of describe Battlefront 2 and all the ways that EA screwed up. But besides all that, I'm going to give you advice on how to beat him with each character, if the character is even good enough. So I'm going to start with, like, on this tier list, I'm going to look at the worst characters, which they have Finn and Leia. Finn, he doesn't really have a chance at beating a Darth Vader player unless it's a brand new Darth Vader player that doesn't know how to block. Finn's not going to win, plain and simple. Leia, you're kind of in like a similar situation, but if you use her, I think it's her middle ability that gives you the rapid fire, and you're getting headshots, you have an okay chance and you have a decent roll, but you're kind of in the same category as Finn, where it's like, if Vader's just blocking, there's nothing you can really do. Like, with these characters, you had to pray for like an extremely open map to even have a fighting chance. It's just the way it is. Now, there are some different scenarios though, because I'm looking at this as like a 1-on-1 stance. Let's say you have Leia and Lando. That's a combo my friend and I like to do, and it works great because he'll electrocute Vader, and then I'll have Leia's rapid fire, and you'll just fire 1,000 bullets into his head while he's shocked, and you win. That's like a really cheesy combo, and Leia and Lando are both looked at as like very characters, you know. But there's simple things like that where you could take a huge advantage, because there's no way for Vader to avoid the electrocution from Lando, which leads me to the next character, Lando. I've actually seen, my friend likes to play Lando a lot, and I've actually seen him 1v1 a Vader and win by doing that. It's kind of the funniest thing to watch. He'll electrocute him, and he'll be like this far from Vader's head and just shoot him right in the head like that. It looks hilarious, and it works. So, Lando, that's like your only option though. If you can electrocute Vader and land a ton of headshots, because Lando can shoot fast, but that's the only thing he's got. So you mess that up, don't know what to tell you. Then we have Chewbacca. He is great against lightsaber characters because, you aim down sight, you shoot, and it does an explosion. So, like, yes, a lightsaber can block the initial damage, but the explosion damage from his gun, you can't block. So you can shoot any of these lightsaber characters, and even if they block, you're dealing damage. And let's not forget the middle ability where you start shooting really fast and you're doing even more damage. Like, that's just great. Everything about that is great. You have an unblockable gun. And then you have Chewbacca's slam attack where he pounds the ground, and you have his he also has this shock grenade, which both cannot be blocked. At least so far, I haven't seen anyone block it. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's great for, like, if Vader comes up to you, odds are there's a good chance he's going to land the choke. He can land the choke if you're running at him to do the pound. He can choke you in that. Keep that in mind. Okay? So odds are, how it usually goes for me is I'm shooting him until he chokes me, and I'm praying I don't die right away. I've seen a lot of Vaders not take advantage of landing the choke. They'll just stand there and watch you be choked instead of, like, throwing their lightsaber at you and swinging. I don't know if they don't realize that they can do stuff during that. Who knows? But they'll land the choke, and as soon as I get out of the choke, I'll go for the ground pounds to get him off me. And while he's laying on the floor, I'll throw the shock grenade at his feet, electrocute him, and just start shooting him in the head as much as you can. It's kind of similar to Lando's scenario, but with Chewbacca, you have so much more to work with. Like, yes, you have the electrocution, but you also have a ground pound, which can be used for ledging, and then you have your gun that is unblockable. So Chewbacca is definitely one of the better options. He's like the second best for the gun characters. And let me just do the next gun character, actually, while we're on the topic. Han Solo. I have 1v1 to Han Solo as Vader. It can be very hard. Han Solo is a great counter. He has his rapid fire, which is blockable, but he has his like, I don't want to call it C4, but if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. He has that one bomb he throws, and it's unblockable. You throw it at him, you detonate it, knocks them off their feet, does a lot of damage, and you shoot them while they're down. And he also has his like shoulder charge kind of thing, which is also unblockable. So those two options, and the fact that Han Solo's gun is just, like, really solid, it's just very easy to take Vader out as Han Solo. It's surprising. I would rather be Han Solo than a lot of these lightsaber characters to try and fight a Vader. Han Solo is a great character. And now let's get on to the lightsaber characters. We got Yoda. I think Yoda's just dog shit. His attacks always miss, I feel like. He's got such short range. He does have a couple things going for him. A force push, obviously, but that's kind of... Force abilities really only work if you're good at taking advantage of enemies' mistakes and vulnerability. If you're really trying to sweat, pay attention to stamina, pay attention to when they've used their abilities and they're on cooldown, so you know when you can attack. One of the biggest things I look for against a Vader player as a lightsaber character is I'm waiting for him to use that choke, because you just don't want to swing with him until he's used it. I can't tell you, like, when I first started this game, there were so many moments where I'm like, great, Vader's stamina's down, and I go and start shredding away at him, and then he just chokes me. And I'm like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. It's like some Vader players, they will only play like where they don't use the choke until they're in a bad situation. It's like, dude, give me a break. There's nothing more frustrating than a defensive Vader player, because it's like they're very hard to kill. Not impossible, but they're very hard. Oh, calm down. So, with Yoda, he has the Force Push, which is good against, people when they slip up. He also has his little dash attack thing where he jumps through the air. Now, the nice thing about that is it's unblockable damage. And you get it twice, so that is good for chipping away, and it charges quickly. Only problem is Vader is a tank. Like, if you max out his health and his other like focused rage ability, he can have like over 1,150 health or something. Like, it's insane. So you gotta keep in mind those two attacks alone are not gonna get you anywhere. And like, Yoda can also boost his health and heal, but Vader has focused rage where he gives himself extra health as well. So you're kind of like on the same playing field in terms of health, but you still have a lot less health. Like, Yoda is the worst against Vader. I've only beaten a Vader with Yoda a couple times if it's a good Vader. Obviously, if the Vader sucks, you can beat him as any character, really. But if the Vader knows what they're doing and you're Yoda, odds are you should probably think about timing out the match or something. If it's a hero showdown, that's what I would do to be annoying. But yeah, that's kind of where Yoda's at. He's, in terms of all the lightsaber characters, I think Yoda's the worst in these hero showdown fights or heroes versus villains. I only like to play Yoda if I'm on like a bigger match of like Galactic Assault or something. So that's where Yoda's at. Next, I'm gonna do Luke Skywalker. I feel like some people will say Luke Skywalker is the best light side character. I disagree, like, very highly. Like, I just don't feel like there's anything special about Luke Skywalker. 2 force pushes and a move that you can get damaged in, or his little spin thing. Like, there's just nothing special about him, to be honest. Obviously, one of the downsides to Vader is his stamina takes a really long time to recharge. So I think most of the light side saber characters, I don't think any of them have that problem, actually. And I think that was the way for EA to try and keep Vader from getting too ridiculous. So watching stamina is always a good way to get the advantage, and that's kind of all you really have as Luke. Obviously, you don't have super low health. You have decent health as Luke. You have 2 force abilities to use when you catch Vader slipping. Just in general, Luke isn't complicated. So you should know what to do as Luke. It's not like Obi-Wan or Rey. Those characters have strategy. I don't want to call Luke like mindless and stupid, but that's just what he is. So, and next, for some reason, Obi-Wan is at B tier on this list. If I'm gonna fight a Vader, I would want to be Obi-Wan out of all the characters. If I'm gonna be a character, I want to be like Obi-Wan or Han Solo. So for Obi-Wan, obviously he has his mind trick, which turns off all of Vader's abilities, which is amazing because you don't have to worry about getting choked when you go to swing at him. So you have that, and you have his force push, which is self-explanatory. Find yourself in a bad situation or find Vader slipping, force push him. He also has his run where he blocks blaster bullets. I usually only use that if I almost have the kill, but I am out of stamina. I will use that to get one more hit on him. Keep that in mind. Like, these abilities don't take stamina, so use them when you find yourself without it, if you just need that final hit to kill them. So with Obi-Wan, there's a bunch of good cards he has. I have my Obi-Wan maxed out, by the way, and I use the card where he has max health regeneration, and that is amazing. Like, that card, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little broken. You can get that card on Obi-Wan, Dooku, and General Grievous, and that, Oh my, like that can turn a match into like you would think it'd be a 1 minute fight. That will time out a match because you can regenerate so much health and you're just not gonna die simply. So what I would do against Vader is I would turn off his abilities, and there's some Vader players who are just gonna block and back away, just dash away the entire freaking time, because simply if they don't have the choke, they don't want to fight you. It's kind of this is a weird thing, but I understand. But as Obi-Wan, you kind of gotta do that. You don't want to get in a bad situation where you're winning and you get choked. Next thing you know, you get a lightsaber thrown through you and you're getting hit at by Vader. So, sometimes with Obi-Wan, I'll actually fight kind of brainlessly because I have so much health regeneration. I can afford to take a lot of damage to get more hits on the other person's character. Keep in mind, there's a thing called parrying, and if you can do that, then you won't even be taking damage. If you don't know what parrying is, I actually didn't know what this was for the longest time, even when I got really good at the game. Simply, when someone goes to swing at you, as soon as they do it, you gotta click it like immediately after, and you will parry their attack, take no damage, and damage them. I have gone against some guys who are amazing at parrying. I didn't know it was at the time. I'm like, how the hell did I just die and they didn't take a single hit? I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong with this game? And then I realized, oh, you can parry. I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to do this. So parrying is always the best option, but Obi-Wan can afford to be stupid. The problem with Vader is, like I said, if you have the right cards, you can get up to over 1,150 health. That's insane, but you can do it. Obi-Wan has insane health regeneration. So the nice thing about this is once you get the jump on Vader, you can do lots of damage. And when he's back up on his feet, or if he got turned around or wherever, if he is challenging you, then you can keep going because you can afford to take a lot of damage. Vader doesn't have that insane health regeneration. So that's what I like to take advantage of. The next two characters are Rey and Anakin. They don't really have this, and that's why I would put Obi-Wan above them. So that's the way it is. But let's do Rey next. Rey, I love fighting Darth Vader as Rey because she is so annoying to play against. She has one mind trick. The other one just kind of shows you where people are around you, which is nice if you need to get the jump on Darth Vader, which is hard sometimes when your characters start having a dialogue through the wall and you're like, kill me. So Rey, obviously she has her move where she reveals where people are. How I have my card set up is I use my middle ability to reveal where the person is. So I would reveal the Vader, and then I would use my mind trick on him. The good thing about the mind trick is if you have the right card set up and you reveal where they are and then use the mind trick, it will last longer. There's a card for that. And then there's also a card where if you have them affected by the mind trick or revealed or by like anything, if they're affected in any way by an ability, Rey will do more damage to them, which is that is good. That is very nice. But to be honest, completely honest, a lot of the times I will not use that ability and then use the other one right away. I'll use the ability to first reveal them, and then I'll get as close up in the Vader's face as I can, just being like, hey, hit me. Like, just hit me, dude. And he'll swing for me. I'll use the left ability where she does her charge. And this is like, it's so easy to bait, and it's probably so frustrating to play against as the Vader. As soon as the Vader goes to like attack and you do the charge, you will knock him on his ass, and then you just go to hit him. It's kind of hard sometimes. Sometimes I'll run past the Vader after I knock him down. Just be ready to, once you knock him down, to cancel out of the attack and to jump on him. That's when the Vader will kind of panic and try to like back away, that's when you use the mind trick on him. So instead of getting away from you, he'll get up towards you so you can keep going at him. My biggest problem is simply Rey just doesn't have enough health. Like, I have beaten Vader's as Rey with this strategy because it's really good, but she doesn't have the health regen and the insane health that Vader has. So you had to really be careful. Like, you had to really be careful. Of course, with all the light side characters, there's the possibility of ledging Vader simply, like Rey. You could confuse him. You could confuse the way he moves next to a ledge or something, or when he jumps in the air, make him fall off that way. But, like, that's just not... You shouldn't only be able to rely on that to win a match. If you rely on just ledging, the chance of you actually winning all the time are a lot lower. It's just the way it is. And next up is Anakin. Now, Anakin, he's put at the very top, which is fair, but he's also put on the same level as Vader, which I don't agree with. There. Yes, Anakin, he's got a lot of health. You know, he is solid. Only thing is, his abilities are very easy to dodge. His force pull, just hold block. His force push, Vader just holds block. Even Retribution, his best attack that takes, you have to take damage, or your teammates have to take a lot of damage for you to charge up, Vader can just block it. And originally I thought it was supposed to be an unblockable move. Vader can block it. So Anakin is more like Luke, in my opinion, in the fact that, like, some of his moves are straightforward. I do like Anakin's right ability, where he just does the one big swing that's unblockable. That is nice for when you're, the best thing about it is once you do get the jump on Vader, you do damage to him, and then eventually he's going to start blocking. So you've taken this portion, but it's just not enough to really take away from his health as a whole. That's when you use the ability that's unblockable to get that big hit that will actually... so let's say this is his health. You take away this much damage, it's just going to go back. But if you get it down to here, and then you get that final hit, it's not going to go back all the way. You will have done enough to have an effect on him as a character. And that's kind of what you got to rely on. Obviously, that's all the characters. There's simple things that I could have told you that are, like, to just play better in general. Like, obviously, pay attention to stamina, pay attention to their health regeneration, and keep track of the moves they're using. That applies to all the characters. But, there's good characters, or there's good players and there's worse players. There's good Vaders and there's bad Vaders. Sadly, even bad Vader players can be decent because Vader's very straightforward to play. That's why I mained him when I first started the game, because I was like, oh, this guy's good and he's easy to play and he has so much health. It's like, why was I trying to play Darth Maul? So, I think Darth Maul sucks, by the way. This tier list has him above General Grievous, and Grievous has some very annoying tactics for, like, everyone. So, I disagree. But that's the video. I'm looking at the time, and, like, Jesus, I talked forever, but hopefully I have, like, actually helped. I hope I have, I hope I mentioned, like, I hope for the character you play the most, I hope I gave you some more insightful things. Like, I'm sorry for, like, Anakin and Luke, you didn't hear what you wanted. They're just very straightforward. But they're solid characters. They don't really need that much in the first place. So, yeah, I'm going to stop talking now. Hopefully, if I helped you, leave a like and help support me. That would be awesome. Leave a comment if you disagree with some of the things I said, or if you have some other strategies you want to share with people. Obviously, there's a lot of duo things you can do in the 2v2s, because obviously this game is not 1v1. A lot of people love to 1v1, but there's a lot of combos you can do. Like, I love the Han and Chewbacca combo against the Vader. So that's like one of my favorites. But yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to give some feedback, maybe subscribe, because I'll probably give some more tips on Battlefront 2 in the future, because I'm a sweat. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.